Hey guys, what's happening? So we're back for another Marvel Predator vs. story, written by Benjamin Percy. But this time around, instead of seeing the Yautja take the fight to Wolverine, we've got a whole new Predator who's made his way to Wakanda, which means this one's gonna have to take on the Black Panther. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so going right into this, Benjamin Percy's taken a very different approach here from what we saw in the Predator vs. Wolverine miniseries, because right away he gives us a lot of backstory for what's going to be the main Predator throughout this miniseries. Because starting out, we're shown this planet in the Wolf Star system, which is said to be one of the great treasures of the galaxy. And as it stands, there are two rival clans who have the opportunity to take this planet, or this hunting ground, to themselves, with the leader of each clan both being brothers, who hope to make their father, the king, proud. And as we're told, the king, he does not see his sons as equals. One had the strength of an entire hunting party, the other was born small and missing a leg. And as we're told, the smaller of the two brothers, he's the one who demanded this hunt, so he could claim this hunting ground for himself, even though it would mean the death of one brother or the other. But going forward, the father, the king, even though in the past he's shown his favoritism towards one of these two, it was on this day where he made it clear, because the king picked up his spear, and this spear, it never leaves his side. Their father acquired it on Earth many years ago, during one of the greatest hunts of his life, and it contained power like no other in his arsenal, with it being made with what the Yautja call God Metal, and the humans call Vibranium, with it having the ability to absorb and expel kinetic energy. But right here, he picks up the spear and he swings it towards the smaller of his two sons, only to stop its blade right in front of his face just before handing this vibranium spear to the larger, stronger brother. And it's super disrespectful, because like I said, it was on this day where their father made it clear which one of these two was his favorite, because now this spear gives an advantage to the larger, stronger son, who was likely going to come out on top already. So when the time came and the blood sport went underway, it lasted many rotations around the sun. And at first, the two clans would pick each other off, but in the end, when Big Brother used that vibranium spear, his clan won this contest by a landslide. And though he was defeated, this didn't kill the smaller brother. And instead of giving him what would be considered to be a warrior's death, the larger brother just left the smaller one to die, as a way to humiliate him. So he stripped him of his weapons, tied him to a totem, and abandoned him in disgust. Because had the younger one died in battle at least, his death would have brought honor to his name and his clan. And because the smaller one didn't have the strength or mobility like his bigger brother, he had no choice but to be smarter and do things like integrate tech into his body just to make himself more formidable. So after some time, he ends up cutting himself free to bring together what remained of his clan, knowing that their loss was not an honest one. And as it turns out, from the moment he knew that his father was maneuvering against him, he made sure to put in place a backup plan, which involved hiding a ship below the lake so him and the remaining members of his clan could travel to Earth and hunt down the source of vibranium, because he imagined that he'd be able to use this material for his body armor, his wrist gauntlet, or his leg, and build himself into the ultimate predator. And to find where the vibranium was on Earth, he used the information his helmet had collected when they were attacked, which revealed multiple sources of vibranium around the world, but the epicenter, or the mother lode, it was in Africa. So him and his clan made their way there. But before they arrive, we head to Wakanda, where we find the Dora Milaje and the Hattusarazi participating in a competition that eventually comes down to T'Challa and Okoye. And just to be clear, this isn't the main Marvel universe that we're dealing with here, and there's going to be a few clear indications of that early on in this story. Because for starters, this T'Challa, he's still the king, unlike 616 T'Challa, who got exiled after putting together a secret team of spies who later turned into terrorists. But while T'Challa and Okoye are sparring here, T'Challa's suit gets hacked by Shuri, with there being this kind of playful debate about T'Challa not being able to keep up with Okoye if he didn't have the suit at his disposal. But he ends up coming out on top anyway. And following this, Shuri tells T'Challa about how much they're needed just outside of Wakanda, which he understands, but he also knows if they were to try and help and be there for everyone, it would leave Wakanda vulnerable. So she tells T'Challa she wants to show him something, though she doesn't say what it is, not at first. So she takes him outside of the foothills of Wakanda's capital, Bernanzana, And there's this moment here where they're scaling the cliffside of this waterfall where Shuri's trying to show T'Challa how she can climb so much faster than him, only to have the rocks break out from under her, so she starts to fall. And when T'Challa catches her, it turns into this teaching moment where he tells her, when you move fast, you're more likely to stumble. And I can't help but to think this is going to be one of those moments that T'Challa thinks back to, where it reminds him of just what he needed to know at the right time or something. But we end up finding out that Shuri was taking T'Challa to the place where all the rivers meet to introduce him to Magikina, a seer from the river tribe. Because to him, when all these rivers come together, it makes this huge network that allows him to see the different troubles that are happening from thousands of miles away. So he ends up telling T'Challa about how 500 miles north, there's people suffering a drought, and how 1,000 miles in the east, there's a new virus that has people coughing their lungs out. But all of this just goes back to what Shuri was saying about others needing Wakanda's help, because it's something that Shuri had been trying to get T'Challa to do for some time. Like, from how this is shown, it's not like she just started today. But while they're here, the Predator also arrives in Wakanda, and when it gets here, it immediately spots the cloaked energy dome. And right away it notices that the cloaking technology the Wakandans are using, it's very similar to what the Yautja use for their ships. And this makes it fairly easy for him to hack the barrier and make his way inside. So as you might imagine, this means big trouble for any piece of Wakandan tech. But upon entry, it doesn't take him long to find and scan T'Challa, as the cloaked Predator ship's moving around and surveying Wakanda. But when the cloaked ship gets a little too close, it startles the wildlife, and right away T'Challa knows that something's not right. So he tells Shuri to take the Elder to safety as T'Challa makes his move to investigate. But at this point, with the Predator seeing T'Challa's suit, this guy's like, I need that. I'ma need you to come up off of that. Because not only is he here to take vibranium so he can refashion his existing weapons with it, but also he now sees the Black Panther as this insanely valuable trophy, because he knows if he brings this back, this would be an unparalleled achievement that he could call his own. So next, he ends up telling two members of his clan to continue to go and survey Wakanda to locate the source of vibranium, while the others join him to go hunting. And as they drop down from the ship, for a moment here we see T'Challa reaching out to Okoye to join him for another maneuver, though this time it's the real thing. But when he tries to tell her more detail, cause he believes something has made its way there, before he can tell Okoye, his comms start breaking up, and it quickly gives him the suspicion that it's been jammed. And it's not long before T'Challa starts finding other clues, cause next he finds this dead bird that looks like it flew into a window at full speed. But as he's investigating this, the other cloaked predators surround him from above, as 3 dots appear on his head and he's blasted out of this tree. And as he falls from what is very high up, we're told that his vibranium suit saved him from what would have been a kill shot, and with the impact leaving him heavily dazed, the Panther falls into concussed darkness, as the mud in the swamp swallows him up. And when we head back to Shuri, who still has the seer with her, we find out that she's still moving forward with her plans to help the people in the surrounding areas, even though T'Challa didn't approve of any of it. But as she leaves with the seer, keep in mind that she has no idea about any of this Predator business that's going on right now. So for her, this is what she would have done anyway, because she would rather take action now and ask for forgiveness later. But just as Shuri exits the barrier, she loses communication with Control, because come to find out, one of the scouting Predators, they've made their way inside, and he just bodies this guy before he even knows what happened. So this Predator, he tries to cover things up here, but even still, Shuri knows that something's not right. And in the meantime, as this Predator is taking over their systems to keep Wakanda from getting any help from the outside, Shuri's just like, wait, something's wrong. So she turns back around to make her way in. But when she announces that she's about to re-enter the barrier does not open. And the next thing we see is just an explosion. And it's crazy because not only did these Predators just easily get the drop on Wakanda and take over the defenses, but now they've set this place up to be their hunting ground, which now forces the Wakandans to show what they're made of, without the help of their technology, and in some cases, without the help of each other. So this one just might go down a little different than what we saw in Secret Invasion, cause right out of the gate, these Predators are ready to go through whoever they need to get to that vibranium. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support, and for anyone who's new here who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/DopeSpill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.